Then some of them said the Sister Pearl burnt the house.
Never heard that.
She said they did that down in Cincinnati called Mildred and Doris lived in it.
Mm.
And she didn't like that, I guess.
They said
That's
she
what
did
you
it
know.
on purpose?
I guess, honey, that's what everything I hear. I don't know.
Yeah, you don't
But
know
I
for
don't
sure.
know for sure.
Right.
But that's what I hear.
Hmm.
But they've been in quite a few things. Anyway, he brought us back to Michigan. Then still Pickett's. Went out at the big house and I stayed there. I went me and Mom went to coon hunt with the dog we had out there. I laid down and drank water right out of the swamp up here, because down there in Kentucky there's spring water where you could just lay down anywhere and drink it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I thought here, and that's where I got the typhoid fever. And they had me there, I guess. Dad, I don't know, they didn't give me should have sent me to the doctor when they did. About a week or two before they even called the doctor. And when the doctor got there, he said, he's sure as world die if it was moving. So Ed Bradley and Dad and all of them, I guess, because my whole body, not with the bones, skin and bones,
Mm-hmm.
and wasn't a hair on my body, my head or anything. And next morning, I sitting up there for something to eat. Go right at it. I remember I'd go to school one time or two, and then never went on, I bet you, a week. All them the kids get after me because I didn't have no hair, you know. And boy, when my hair come back in, this looked like a colored guy's hair, little kiki, short hair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it went on. But then the first car I ever drove was old Homer Patton's. Not Homer, no, it was Homer Patton, it's another Homer. He come to Jackson, and he got too much to drink, and here I was. And I took it on my leg, and I drove it home. I don't know how many miles I did, but I drove it home.
Mm-hmm.
Then Dad found out I'd done that, so he had had that V8, and he wanted me to take it and go over top row of onions out. I did, and I lost the key. And he'd had this lock on the steering wheel. He got after me about that. He said, I don't care what you do or anything. I don't see that car back there in the driveway. Mind you now, you're talking to like a 14-year-old kid.
Mm-hmm.
So I go ahead and started I got me a hammer, chisel around on that where that gear shift was, and I took it, and I ain't lying to you now. If you knew that's what I was about that. I wired that thing up. I drove it home. When he come home, we sat in the driveway. He looked at it and he started hopping. Right off the bat. You know. What did you do to this car? Well, I didn't. I said, Dad, you told me to put it in the driveway anyway. I couldn't. Here it is. And he didn't say a word. I mean, he couldn't say very much. And that's all. And used to take it, and then he cut the top off, and he used to drive around through them fields, like wheat fields where it's cut, you know.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of pheasants. And he gave me the shotgun. And shoot pheasants, and him driving out the back of that car.
Huh.
Honest, it's back. Oh yeah, he took it. He used to. Doggone the same. One morning he got up and the big cock was down by the barn. He said, I want you to go out there and get that bird. Pheasant for dinner. I picked up the gun and shot him out there. Pheasant grew up and I cracked down, you know, and that pheasant said, oh, you missed it, didn't you? I watched that bird and got so friendly, just died. And then one shell, about 20 gauge, all he had. He said, Lonnie, said, just go out and get us a rabbit. Just like that, you know. One shell. That's how cheap, you know, one shell. We go down over the swamp and there, and he gets over little ways, sit down, he had to take a crap. And I looked down over here in the brush pile, and I shot that big old bunny. So I just up and cracked down, shot his nose off, you know. And he jumped up and he says, now you played it, just like that. Yeah, I did. It's amazing, I tell you. Yeah.
Was the rabbit dead?
Huh?
Did you kill the rabbit?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Honey, I was good. I shoot the nose off. I wouldn't tear him up. I just, if I'm that close. And well, you ask your brother about that. He's hunted with me in Ellis. You see the way I shoot him, you know, when they're in the snow. He'll tell you that. He'd see me. I used to be pretty good about it. Then he got me a job working for a farmer. That's when I had for milk for Sadie. We didn't have no cow, nothing. And I worked for him for just mostly the milk and that. But and here again, now we eat good. I mean, that's all the reading of me. And then he bought me a bicycle. I thought that was a big thing, you know. So I wouldn't have to walk. I've been walking. But I was coming back from the farm working, and rained when it's going in that, and this dirt road there was that, and I was late, sort of dark, you know. And I was thinking to myself, I said, now, how fast do you think you'd go if something was behind you? And boy, I was just giving nipping the cut, you know. And the road had washed about this much. I hit that, where that and the front wheel hit the other side of the bank, and I flew on my belly and head right at that. So the front wheel was back where the back wheel should be. You know. That I never forget that either. It really messed it up. Yes, it did. No, it really messed it up. And then we topped onions and topped onions out there, and I don't know the time I had to go home, and he wanted me to go home and fix soup and fix dinner for him when he came out of the field. I was pretty good at it. Boy, I'd take potatoes and tomatoes and beans and onions and everything to get my hands on, and I'd put it in this big pot, buddy, and I'd boil it, put the salt and pepper and things to it, man, you know. I got to say myself, it wasn't bad. Back then, when you know, and when you're starving,
Yeah.
it tasted mighty good, you know. And I did that time, and then work all week topping onions, and then eat cause them out there, the rolls looked like this a mile long. You had to take 3 of them. And I'd get $2 maybe. And then Mom would hitchhike to Jackson, see a movie with them $2 piece. And that's when you could get in a movie for 10 cents. Then you could buy hot dog for a nickel, hamburger for 10 cents. And get late, and him would go to like a junkyard with his old cars. We'd sleep in them old cars. But one time, that's what we did. And then we'd stay all day Sunday. Then we'd hitchhike back to Munith. You know where Munith is? That's just over there.
Who were you living with then?
We were standing at Pickett's, topping onions yet. We topped onions for the longest time, and Dad, he left and took some money and bought that place in Ann Arbor. And then we stayed in Monroe, and that stayed. I stayed with Messner's, Jim Messner, and them, and a bunch of boys I knew. And we cut wood, cords of wood, and sell it for money. And then I got me first job I got in the shop was Acme Industrial. I was 15. And I worked there for, I imagine about a year. And then the because I was too young.
Oh.
They wouldn't let me, wasn't supposed to be in there now. Then I hired out again to Smith and Winchester's. Actually bring a little brown envelope, put money in it then. That's where they made all these E-Profs and all this stuff out of tin, you know, all that stuff. And I'd have to go around with about 7 or 8 guys there and keep them supplied in the material. They'd tell me what size material they wanted, sheets, and I'd take it to them. Then I'd clean up around where they worked. I was there a while. Then I, on those box cars, I think it's about $2.50 a boxcar coal. I don't know. That's all I get. That's not very much, but you know. And then they got me a job bowling alleys, setting up pins back then. Didn't mind that too much because it'd throw some money down the alley, you know. Wasn't too bad at all. And it went on, and then I got a job roofing. Mennonite Roofing Company. Me and Mama worked there about 3 years. And we was putting roof on for $2 a square. Now they get about 25, 30. Put them on even big hip roof barns, you know, all of that. We didn't work that long. But back then, that money was pretty good. We worked at that. Then Charles, he worked in St. John, finally got a hold of me, and I worked there. Me and him get into it. I quit 2 or 3 times. And then after that, like I said, then me and old Jim Messner I stayed with, we've been rabbit hunting. And the rabbit started towards me. He up and shot with a shotgun. And I got a BB here, and one in here, and one in right there. You can see it right there. Right there it is. Right
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. And started laughing. My rabbit walked home, you know.
Well, that hurt, didn't it?
Well, it did hurt a little, but it scared more than it really hurt. When you get scared, it hardly, you don't feel the pain,
Right.
mostly. But if it hit me in the eyes, that'd been, yeah. Other than that, it just, all the rest of it just, like I said, and well, you know, when we moved out to Ellis, we had that outside toilet.
So when you worked at Industrial, you were at the beginning. You worked or you lived in Jackson.
Yeah,
Then?
I stayed in an apartment with. Oh shit! I can't think of his name. I got it on the end of my tongue. Him and Charles.
Okay.
One of us cooked one night, and another was cooked that. But that's what we stayed in, you know. So we get into it. St. John's come back me back, and other than that, and then I told him I was going to Ohio, and he let me off thing because I didn't have much work back then. And when I went to Ohio, I went down there and got into fight there with them other Howards, John Howard and Oak Howard and Beach Howard and all them, Monroe and me and Woody. And all of them was in jail at the same time for fighting.
Different fights?
We're all,
Or all big,
they
one
all,
big fight?
It all end up in the same ring,
Yeah.
same night, in the same order, you know.
Yeah.
Because I was fighting John, and got on to me in Scottish, and he said too many bad things, and I got on to him, broke us up in there, and me and Mono went walking down to the other place down Chanford, went down there, and they sneaked up behind us, and old Ray hit me over the head with a 5th pint of whiskey. But all I could see, I turned around and grabbed him by the tie and took him down on the street. Monroe was on John, and Monroe beat John so bad he had to put him in hospital, took him to hospital, didn't have him to jail. And but what did me and Monroe and Dad come up, well, he says to us, he says, well, I can only get one of you out. You know,
Mhm.
he wanted to get one of us out because he needed help work, I suppose. Anyway, me and Monroe said, well, would he? So, Monroe, we was in there and we had it made. That sheriff's wife, boy, she cooked off good meals. Like that, we played cards all day, snow and cold out and nice and warm in there. So what happened to Hale kept on Charlie Scott till he had to come and get us out. And he got us out. And I didn't like it. Went up and Monroe had a government bond. He went and had to cash it in to pay Hale back. And that's the time I met your mom. I was riding on the city bus out the street. I was going out to Charles, and she lived up that way.
Mhm.
That's when she fell in my lap that time I was telling you about, laughing about.
Mhm.
And after that, I just let it go with that. And after that, that's when she met me up above Michigan 3 up there and said I would go to the show. Well, the first thing she asked where Monroe was. She knew Monroe back then.
Mhm.
Because I asked Monroe, I said, where did you meet her at? He says, I met her in Sloom.
The
I
saloon
said,
girl.
Sloom? My gosh, what are you talking about? Oh, she was in there with her dad. And that's, we started laughing about it. Anyway, she asked me where Monroe was. I told her, I said, she's probably downtown somewhere. Around here, down there at bed.
Mhm.
She looked at me, I would go to the show if somebody would go with me. I says, I'm able. Of course, when I went to the show, I went to sleep. And then it all started. That's what, yeah. And we were together, I guess, 6 months maybe
Mhm.
before we got married. But anyway, it was that kind of rough going. And you know most of it, I had a couple of wrecks, towed out of the car, and you know.
So when you got in that fight with John Howard, was he married to Aunt Pearl at the time?
That's how come the fight started, honey.
Over her.
Yeah.
Something about her.
Oh, yeah. Because she was mad at her, and then he takes out on somebody else, you know.
Mhm.
So it's that's the way people is.